And that's like what I tell people all the time, because I get questions about this. I feel like I just posted about it, but the question I get really frequently from people, especially people who are like new to the sport, is like, how long does prep last? When do you start prep? Blah, blah, blah. And my answer is like, honestly, there's very little difference between off season and prep if you're doing it right. And
Right.
so it doesn't really matter. The reason that they're asking is always because they're like under the assumption that prep is going to be this like incredibly restrictive thing that they're like really almost kind of scared of, and they want it to
Yeah.
be the shortest prep possible. So that's why they always want to know. And I'm like, dude, if you do off season right, it's going to look a lot more like prep, and it's not going to be that much of a difference whether it's off season or prep, and neither one needs to be that crazy. So I'm assuming that's kind of the position that you're in.
Yes, yes, that is the position I'm in, and that's kind of how we rolled even into my last set of shows. That's why, like, when people ask when prep started, it's like you said, there's not really much of a difference. I mean, yeah, the calories start to go down, and but like my daily regimen stays the same.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. I think that's by far the best way, most efficient way to do it. And then it's like, so for one, when you stay leaner, like when you stay in better shape through your off season, you remain so much more insulin sensitive, and so you're able to actually grow more, as opposed to these people who just binge and overeat and eat tons and tons of food, put on a bunch of fat and get insulin resistant. They gain a bunch of weight, but they're not necessarily gaining a lot of muscle. And then when it comes time to prep, yeah, now you got to diet 50 pounds off, and that's going to suck. And prep does suck if that's how you got to do it. So, yeah, I think, I like that approach. That's how I would approach things. I try to do that with all of my clients. That's obviously up to their adherence in the off season. And, the ones that do better with it do better when they compete. But, um,
Absolutely,
so how
absolutely.
long have you been competing?
Oh gosh, I did my very first show back in 2012, and then I turned pro in 2018, and I've done 25
Nice.
pro
Yeah.
shows.
You've been
So yeah, been at it
done
a while.
25 pro shows.
25 pro shows. The 25th one was that win finally. So, yep.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
I did not realize that. That's amazing. Um, okay. So obviously you're doing the Olympia. So you've gotten some wins then, I'm assuming, unless you are qualified on points.
No, they took points away from figure. So I qualified on a win. I won Tri City in April.